Hey Internet, welcome to part 4 of the crappy MacBook into a smacking Linux system video. As promised, we are going to do some gaming on the crappy MacBook running Linux Mint 20. So because I don't have a capture card that's compatible with the MacBook, I hooked it up to my Sony Bravia 32-inch using a VGA dongle, so that hopefully you guys can see the games and get a better experience than me just pointing it at the MacBook screen, which doesn't seem to show up on camera very well. And I can't capture any video using any screen recording software because it uses too many resources on the MacBook and interferes with the game emulation and other software that we'll be using for this video. So a couple of my viewers have asked what games we could possibly play on the MacBook from 2006. Now, they're probably thinking of modern titles, which I get. We're not going to be able to play any modern titles on the MacBook. The hardware just can't handle it. But we can emulate games and we can get games of the era to run. So we're going to emulate some games using the program RetroArch from the 90s and the early 2000s. So we're going to start with NES emulator and play some Castlevania here. Now it loads up pretty quick, so got some good visuals. Now the controller I'm using for this emulation is a Xbox One controller, but you can use any USB controller, and RetroArch will pretty much detect the controller you're using and set the profile appropriately. Ha! Gotcha. Oh, that's the wrong direction. No! Let's take the stairs. Oh, yeah. Alright, now that you've seen me fail at Castlevania, it plays pretty well, and I've tried 2 other NES games and they both work really well. So the system can definitely emulate NES games. And I've realized that I am simply terrible at Castlevania. So that's Castlevania from the NES on the crappy MacBook, running Linux Mint 20. Alright, so next we're going to do a Super Nintendo title, one of my favorites. This is a Donkey Kong Country. And again, I'm using the same controller, Xbox One. And the emulation's pretty good, so it starts up really quick, sounds good. Let's get some bananas here. First, we're gonna go get an extra life because I'm definitely gonna need it. Now, if I didn't know any better, I'd say I was playing on a Super Nintendo, because I played this game so much on a Super Nintendo. Now, I did notice in some scenes there is lag, but again, I attribute that to emulation. But overall, it's a really enjoyable experience. Now with the Nintendo emulation, the fans don't really ramp up on the MacBook at all, but with the Super Nintendo emulation, I find that the fans do pick up intensity. Get them bananas! And we're just gonna go... No! We're gonna fall off a cliff. Try this a little bit more here. Oh, you jerk. Just give me more bananas. Get my life back. And there we go. About time. So that's Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo on the crappy MacBook. Alright, next we're gonna play some Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, some of you have probably played on a Sega Genesis before, and parts of this game will normally lag out even on the Sega Genesis. So, again, some latency in this game I attribute to the emulation of the console. And it's very loud. There we go. Woohoo! Oh. No! Not my rings. Otherwise, the gameplay is really smooth for the Sega Genesis emulator. Oh my god. It has been literally forever since I've played this game. And that is Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis on the crappy MacBook. Alright, so this next game we're going to play is by request of a friend of mine who asked if we could play a certain game from the era the MacBook came out. This game came out in around 2005, but it was made for Mac and PC and not Linux. So we're going to have to use Wine to run this game. So I've already pre-installed Wine, and I've already pre-installed the game. And I've had to edit the config file of the game to get it to run because some of the shaders were causing some of the models not to render. And as you can see, after a couple seconds, we get World of Warcraft, patch 1.12, classic, for those of you that are in the know, to run. Now, I tried running this game in full screen mode, but the MacBook wouldn't have it. It was almost unplayable at 10 FPS. It was just really rough. And so I had to run it in windowed mode at 800 by 600 resolution. So let's log in here. And I'm playing on the Kronos WoW servers for this demonstration here. Now we've loaded into the human starting area. Now there is some artifacting on screen from time to time, but it doesn't always happen. So as you can see, the frame rate inside is pretty good. Now we're gonna go head outside here. Now the frame rate outside isn't terrible at this resolution. It definitely is playable. Let's kill some wolves here. Now, it is not a perfect experience by any means, but if you're in a pinch and you want to log on to your private WoW server, it works. You're not going to be doing any dungeons and raids on this, I don't think, but you can do some general questing here. In fact, I didn't even pick up a quest for these stupid wolves. Now, some of the animations are a little slow. But again, we're running a PC game from 2005 on a MacBook from 2006 running Linux Mint 20. So, and with the 64 megabytes of VRAM, we are pushing the game a little hard here. So I can't buy any of that. Let's sell some stuff here. So, yeah, while barely playable, it does work. Now, me personally, I wouldn't mind playing WoW on Linux, but I definitely would play on something with better hardware. That's for sure. It's pretty responsive too. There's no input lag from any of the hardware that I have plugged in. And like I said, I'm using a keyboard and mouse for this. So yeah, that's World of Warcraft for the PC on the crappy MacBook, running Linux Mint 20. So we've played all these games on the MacBook, but can this MacBook run Crysis? Well, the short answer is no. There's no way this hardware can run Crysis at all. But what we can do is we can stream Crysis from another gaming machine. So I've hooked up the MacBook via Ethernet to my local area network, and I have Steam logged in on another computer. And we're going to stream Crysis from my gaming computer to the MacBook. And we're going to see if it works. So I've hooked my Xbox One controller back up. Look at that Crytek.
Maximum game.
If only they knew what we were doing right now. "2007 Crysis." And we're on the main menu. Now, I already started a game because I had some trouble getting Crysis to run on my gaming computer because it's actually an old game and I had some 64-bit compatibility issues. So I already started a game and we're going to start on the beach in the dark here and go and see how it runs. Bet you didn't think we'd be playing Crysis on a MacBook from 2006 now, did you? Now, the main purpose of this demonstration is not to play Crysis on a MacBook, although it is funny. It's actually to show you how a MacBook from 2006 can actually make an okay Steam streaming PC.
You hit the water pretty hard. Some of your suit functions are offline. Let me run a quick diagnostic. Careful, man. Enemy contact up ahead.
Now, I've not played this game in a long time. I did have some trouble aiming down sights with this. There is a small amount of input latency.
Prophet, this is Aztec. You got me? I read you. Give a sit rep. Something took a swipe at me on the way down. Oh, I'm caught up in the trees. Okay, Aztec. Hang tight. Help's on the way. Maximum speed.
There he is.
No man. Up here. Come on. Let's get to Aztec. alone out here. What have you got, Aztec? KPA. Quality control.
Now, the visual quality is not going to be the greatest because we're literally streaming the game from the gaming computer. So this is technically a video we're looking at.
Aztec, talk to me.
But
Aztec, sound off now.
if you get a computer like this as a hand-me-down and you don't know what to do with it, I mean, Steam Link is something very useful on old hardware. So I don't know if you can hear it, but the MacBook's got some serious fan spin right now. We're probably running it to its limit here with the Steam streaming. Cutscene here. Whoa, what did that? And something's gonna pop out at us. Oh, some texture popping. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean texture popping. Oh shit! Aztec!
I don't know, but I don't think we're alone out here.
What have you got? Negative?
Negative, sir. We got 4 dead Koreans. There's no way Aztec killed them.
Alright, well that is Crysis via Steam Link on the crappy MacBook from 2006. So, quick recap, we played Castlevania for the NES, Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo, Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis, World of Warcraft for the PC, and Crysis for the PC. Now, I know we didn't actually play Crysis on the MacBook. We played it through Steam's Remote Play Steam Link. But we still played it through the MacBook, so I count that as a win. Now, is the MacBook a good gaming machine? No. By no means is it a good gaming machine. But it's a good emulation machine for retro games. Now, I did try emulating PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and Nintendo 64 with the MacBook, but I couldn't get any of the games to run at a playable frame rate, so yeah, I would stick to retro titles such as, Sega Genesis and below. While you probably will not be able to play any modern titles on the MacBook, aside from maybe some indie games that are made for Linux, it's a decent retro computing experience. So, anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's longer than most of my other videos, but I really felt like I should demonstrate the games that we played tonight. So that's probably the last video of the MacBook series. I've had a lot of fun making this series, and a lot of frustrations too. I mean, a lot of preparation went into making some of these videos, and some of it was very frustrating indeed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Alright, now that that's over with, time for some real gaming. Oh yeah.